Talk, and we know we're live on YouTube, and we're live on Twitch, and we're live on LinkedIn Live. So there we are. Come and join us, and a very, very good evening to you. Thank you for sending me likes. Dinky-Doo, Scottie La. Beachy, Dinky-Doo to you, La. Lovely to have you with us, and a very, very warm welcome, I say. Now, we've started our Monday evening phone-in, and we did have a challenge late on Saturday night, and we didn't manage to get back up to see you. But nevertheless, it's great to be with you tonight, and a big dinky-doo from me, Scottie McClue. So much to talk about and so little time to do it in. Welcome, welcome, welcome to all our lovely TikTokers. Keep it up, I thank you. If you haven't followed me on TikTok, please get following as soon as possible. And of course, live on the phone in on YouTube. Then subscribe and tap the bell. Follow me on Twitch, Scottie_McClue. And we'll be taking your phone calls very shortly and seeing what is what tonight. I'd quite like to touch on the subject of marriage. Is marriage a good thing or a less good thing? Now, we've experienced it in difficult times and in good times. We've had lockdown together, etc., etc. So it would be nice to see just what is what. Give us a call on that one, and we will chit-chat, I say. So we're looking at marriage tonight. Excellent. And I'm just making some notes here because lots and lots of reaction from you already. We like that. The man which grew down from a cap. Good afternoon, sir. Kirby the Annihilator. How lovely to have you with us from the other side of the world, I say. Now, I think we'll go and see if we can get to the phones, see what's happening there. Always good stuff. Off to the telephones and see what is what. There we go. Wonderful stuff. And let's hope that somebody will give us a call and we can see what is what. Should be working well. Excellent. So if you're watching right now and you'd like to phone in, you'll see the number across the bottom of the screen. Feel free to do that and come on and join us. To all our lovely, lovely TikTokers, a very, very warm welcome to you. There we are. Thank you. A big plate of haggis. Thank you, 85 Mick. We like a big plate of haggis. And we'll just see what's happening with the phones. You're live with Scottie's phone in. Who's that?
Hi, Scottie, it's Glenn.
Glenn, Dinky-Doo. How are you, la? You got on first light tonight?
Nice. There's been a bit of glitch tonight on a few platforms out there.
Hey, huge glitch. So we'll not be joined by some of our platforms tonight.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, but we'll not go into that, Glenn, because that's their business and it's not to do with us. And at least we're here and you and I are chatting. And you can't say fairer than that unless you can't pronounce your F's or TH's.
Are you on them platforms as well, Scott?
I'm on one of the platforms that's gone down tonight, yeah.
Yeah.
Mr. Goatface on TikTok has sent me 25 beautiful cookies.
Nice.
And then another 15.
Scottie, as long as this platform don't go down, we're fine, aren't we?
Well, we ought not, absolutely, because we just got started.
Scottie, sometimes you do get 1 or 2 gremlins, don't you?
Well, you get the gremlins. Well, we had them Saturday night, and I meant to pop back up. I apologise to everybody, but it was 1:13 before I got the phones working again. And I thought, no, they've all gone to the bed.
Was I in Sunday, early hours of
Early hours of Sunday morning. I worked at it from 11 o'clock. Well, 10 to 11. We lost a few minutes at the end, but it doesn't matter. And then it was 1:13 before I got them working again.
Do you think that's the difference between how it used to be run back in day with Wizard to how it is now? You didn't get so many glitches in.
Well, you didn't get the glitches because the equipment was absolutely superb because it had cost hundreds of thousands of pounds. And B, the Wizard sorted any problems out. So the Wizard was in and out with me all the time. Switching things and sorting things and telling me what was what, and we kept everything going. But remember, that's a big money setup. We're on a shoestring here, Glenn.
You said that it's more advanced, though, I suppose, and it's got it considering.
Well, it's absolutely brilliant because the technology that we've got here. You see, a few years ago, somebody said the problem is you'll never be able to get VoIP, Voice over Internet Protocol. It will never replace the solid state and things. And I mean, look at it now. You and I are talking on it right now.
What did you say to them then when they said that?
Well, I said to them, I said, well, it will come, because I was one of your pioneers, typical McClue. In 1998, I had very serious senior conversations and said, and how does that work? And they would say, oh, well, that goes on a, what do you call it, when they've got the big thing that sends everything out on the internet? You know the one I mean?
I know what you mean, yeah.
You know the one I mean? So they said, oh, no, that would go on a server. So I said, right, well, can I have my own server?
Right.
And then I said, now, what about the information? They said, well, to try and explain it to you, Scotty, the information goes down a big pipe. Now, the pipe is of limited circumference, so you can't cram all the information down it. It's too much. Because in those days, you dialed up. You used to say to your nan, Dan, don't phone us tonight. I'm going on internet.
I'm going on telephone.
Yeah, I'm going on a telephone. It'll be engaged. And then you went bloop, 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 bloop.
I've just got you on telly and an error's just come up, Scotty, actually.
What's come up?
You know, on YouTube.
Yeah.
An error's just come up.
What's it saying?
It just says something went wrong. An error's occurred.
An error's occurred. Right, well, we'll try and keep it going.
Just like I said, just everybody will be aware of what's going on anyway, won't they, with all this?
Yep, I mean, that's what it is. Somebody's saying, Keith's saying, I don't get your notifications. I have to look for you.
Yeah, sometimes I do as well, Scotty, yeah.
Right, yeah, see, well, that's not so good. You should be hearing, everybody should know McClue's on. The whole world should know McClue's on.
Scotty, I'm subscribed to you anyway. We all are, aren't we? I think it's...
You're a top man. You're a top man. And Glenn, what I did, I'm so grateful to people, because what I did was I put out a little note and said, 100 angels, £7.50, please, for next step. And they've all done the stuff.
Yeah, you're back on now. I've refreshed it anyway, Scotty.
Hey, that's the stuff. Lovely to hear you. That's what to do. A bit of refreshing.
Say again, Scotty.
A bit of refreshing is always good.
You've got to do that a lot of way.
Yeah.
With internet, aren't you, Scotty?
Yeah, you've got to be. I mean, Glenn, look at the fact that we're here. You and I are looking at each other.
Brilliant, isn't it?
It's fantastic. You know, and we can do that all around the world.
You see, like I said, they weren't as privileged back in the day, the overseas people, were they, to be honest?
No, they couldn't get it. They couldn't get it. You could only get the one channel.
Whatever they were transmitting over.
Whatever it were, you know. Anyway, I better dash, because they're all going bananas here. We've had our 8 minutes.
It's just, hopefully things will get better anyway with these problems.
Listen, don't you worry. The very fact that you and I can chit-chat means world's all right.
Scotty, it'll give people more chance to communicate with each other, won't it, instead of...
This is it. This is it.
Instead of going onto these platforms.
Yeah, this is it. So it's fantastic stuff.
Phone your Auntie Fanny up and all that.
Phone your granny and your Auntie Fanny and have a big crack.
Phone all of them up on phone instead of Messenger and stuff. That's what it's all about, Scotty, isn't it?
It is, La. And hey, a dinky-doo to thee.
Dinky-doo, take it easy, Scotty.
You're an absolute top man.
You're a legend, Scotty.
I'll see you.
See you, Scotty.
See you, Lala. Fantastic. There we are. That's our Glenn. Now, some beautiful chat tonight. I want to get to the chat tonight. I can see you all. It's just phones going. You're live with Scotty's phone in. Who's that?
Hi, Scotty. It's Kareem.
Ah, Kareem. Excellent stuff. Dinky-doo.
Dinky-doo, Scotty. How are we?
Now, excellent. Yes, wonderful. And we've got big stuff on TikTok.
TikTok, no, your normal platforms, I see, Scotty.
Yeah, we've got TikTok, and we've lost a couple of platforms tonight. With they've just gone out.
Oh dear.
Oh dear. Okay. Nothing to do with me. They've just gone down. It's national. It's international.
Sometimes that does happen, though, doesn't it?
Oh yes, of course. You're going to get that, Kareem. You know, you can't. You know, you can't have everything working all the time. But if we can get it working some of the time, that would be rather good.
Yes. Scotty, just want to say to everybody that is listening to get on their phone, their computer,
yes,
and get donating to be one of those 100 angels. I done it earlier on.
you did it, and I want to thank you. I saw that it comes through on my phone, Kareem, and I thought, what a lovely guy. You have been more than generous since the start. You know, I mean, you barely come on, but there's another £1 or £2, you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, I just feel, Scottie, like, you do this out of the kindness of your heart, you know, and at the end of the day, you know, it's something to look forward to. You hear people having a good chit chat, and it brightens your night up, you know. And,
well, it's absolutely free, Kareem. It doesn't cost anybody a penny. Nobody's under any obligation. But I feel that if somebody could spare £7.50, it's not the end of the world, and it just makes all the difference to the show.
Well,
because I would have to save up and save up and save up to get there, you know, and we get there quicker.
Well, if you were in London, that's a price of a pint in London. So that's somewhat bad. Yeah.
Is that what it is now? Do you know, when I used to go down to London, Kareem, I couldn't believe it. I would go to the bank, like in Scotland, you'd go to the bank and take out 100 quid. And that would last you for a week or two. Do you know, you had it in your wallet and you thought, how much is that, love? £4. Oh, my God. And all the stuff. Now, you would go to London, taxi. Thanks, Gov, 12 quid, thanks. Oh, right, another 12 quid. I mean, I'm talking 30 years ago.
Jeez, right.
You know, and then you went in for a pint, please. Yeah, that's £2.13, please. £2.13? It's 2 and tuppence at my rugby club.
I know, the prices in London, they're through the roof.
You know, before you know where you are, and I always remember going, and I won't embarrass the store by saying where it was, but when I was a student, I went into the store and I thought, I think I'll have a cup of tea. So I sat down at the table. It said, waiting service. So I sat at the table, and this girl comes up and said, excuse me, it's a £2.50 charge for the table. I said, I'm not buying the table, love. I just want a cup of tea. She said, no, if you're sitting at the table, it's a £2.50 charge. And I think she had a look at me and thought, this young student, you know, hasn't got a farthing to scratch it, you know. So I said, well, well, I just said, well, listen, not to worry about that. I'll get a glass of water along the road.
Well, Scottie, earlier on as well, just to put up that I'm bringing up the royal family quite a few times just now.
Oh, did you see my latest YouTube video?
I haven't seen it yet, Scottie.
Right, there's one on YouTube. I just uploaded it, maybe an hour ago.
Right, okay.
Yeah, and it's a clip from the other day. Because a guy came on, he said, the Queen reaffirmed the union. I thought, no, she did not. She reaffirmed her position of head of state for Scotland.
Yep. I cut and paste that comment that you made. Again, I've just been doing that. And earlier on criticising the monarchy and everything, and I was absolutely slaughtered. I think I did tag you in it, so when you get a moment, have a wee nosy. But I've not bothered to read the comments because it just shows you, let me be polite, how thick a lot of people are that are commenting back.
They are incredibly thick. And on some of these platforms, the thickness is inherent. They can't see. You see, Kareem, bottom line, here's absolute bottom line. Even if you were the most absolutely ardent anti-monarchist, if you want independence for Scotland, you shut your mouth and you leave things as they are, because they're going to stir this up themselves. Now, a lot of these nationalists don't understand their own history. So there have been bids since 1932 for Free Scotland. And it's come in and come out. It used to be looked almost verging on terrorism. Now it's absolutely mainstream. Yeah? And it's mainstream. So there's a chance, but they've always blown it by being perceived as anti-monarchist. So people give up and whatever goes on in the heads of all your Union flag wearing loyalists and football fans and things like that, whatever goes on in their head, they are also Scottish people with a vote. And if I was one of them, no matter how right or how wrong my philosophy was, I would be saying, I'm not having anything to do with that if they're not going to have the Queen.
Well, do you know, the funny thing last night was I was speaking to one of my friends. He used to work in Asda, and I said, since I've been speaking to Scottie McClue, I've seen his view towards the monarchy, and I've looked at it a different view. If you asked me a number of years ago, I wasn't for the monarchy. But stepping back and looking at it now, it is absolutely crucial that we do have it. And he was gobsmacked. I says, well, Danny, if I can change my mind and educate myself towards that, you can do the same towards Scotland being free, because at the end of the day, you've got nothing to fear in terms of the royal family.
Don't you just leave that alone? Status quo.
Yeah.
Do you know, status quo, we've had it. I mean, top journalists arguing with me about we've had the monarchy for 2,347 years. And they say to me, don't be ridiculous. The first king was Kenneth MacAlpin in 928 or 898 or whatever it was. Kenneth MacAlpin was crowned in Argyll. And I say, yes, that's the modern monarchy, but the old Celtic kings, and you go back to royal, R, Rex, and the ancestors of Rex. So right away back, before Christ, Scotland had head people. You know, and then your Declaration of Arbroath that the Nationalists will quote to you, yes, and you know I'm a big fan of the idea economically of independence. The Nationalists will quote, oh, the Declaration of Arbroath, when the people stood up, as long as a few of us remain alive. You say, no, the Declaration of Arbroath was a letter from the aristocracy to the Pope saying, can we choose the king here in Scotland rather than you choosing him from Rome? And that's 300 years before the Reformation, you know?
Yeah. It was funny yesterday, Scottie. I was taking the dogs a walk, and I was in a bit of a tour of the place, and I was over at Dumbarton walking as at Leven Grove Park.
Now, that's a beautiful ancient place. I nearly went to a school called Keele School. Right beside Leven Grove Park. Sorry?
Was that a private one nearby?
Well, yes, it was actually, but I'll tell you for why. I come from an old Argyll family. And Keele School was originally at Keele in Southend at the bottom of Kintyre.
Right.
And it went on fire in, I think, 1915. Keele House, huge, big house. And it went on fire. If you look over the wall to this day, you see a porch corsair. And that belonged to Keele House. So I think it was something like 1915. And the benefactor was William McKinnon, who was a shipping magnate. I think he owned something like British India Ships or P&O or something big like that, right? So William McKinnon was the founder of Keele School. And if your family were Argyll, you got a bit off the fees.
Right, okay.
So my parents looked at that, but they decided I was getting such a good education in the local school. They just left me where I was.
Yeah, well, it was interesting because after the walk there, I went down to Port Glasgow.
Yes.
And I was just thinking to myself, see, and this is when I was speaking to my friend last night about a lot of things. I just thought the opportunities we have, that massive port and what we can export to the rest of the world. And I said, you think that if up at Dundee with jam and all these things, you look down at Motherwell with the steel.
Yeah.
There was just so much. So I think I have opened his mind a little bit. I've had a bit more persuading to do. But he was set back as well, that how I've totally changed towards the monarchy over the years. But I'll leave you in this spot, Scottie.
I just love the way that you are a lifelong learner. And, you know, I mean, then it's a real class act for a teacher. You know, and I mean, you're into things out with your subject, which is the way it should be. But there's so much out there, Kareem, and McClue's life has been informing, educating, and entertaining.
Yeah, absolutely. No, couldn't agree more. I love listening to all the callers. And I remember, I think it was last week, someone had a go at me saying that I was quite boring.
Kareem, please always ignore that stuff. Yeah. That person that said that is very jealous of the fact that you are an educated, articulate man who can come on and hold his own.
Oh, thank you very much.
That's what's going on there. So don't give that a second thought.
But my point was being for that everybody that calls up has different interests. Everybody that calls, you know, when they speak, they've got different things to say. I mean, like during the week, I had someone talking about blinds, and I thought, you know, I actually need a pair of blinds, and they was talking about vertical blinds. Whatever it was, it's just so random, and that's what's the beauty about a call-up.
Well, you see, this is intentional. This is what the big broadcasters struggle with, McClue. What do you talk about? I say everything. Then they try to interview me and say, who's your target audience? And I say, everyone from 9 to 99. And they go, yeah, but your target. I said, no, everyone. Then they say, what's your show about? I say, Scottie McClue. Yeah, but what does that mean? I said, well, listen in, because as you say, it's random, it's everything, because it appeals to everyone, because everybody can come in at any level. So if they want to discuss the royal family, not a problem. If they want to discuss vertical blinds, not a problem. You see? And that is the appeal of the show. That's why you got your 250,000 listening on the radio.
Absolutely, Scottie. I'll leave you with this thought, and maybe someone else can come in about this. I think I said this back on Nation Radio.
Yes.
That for the people that are from East Kilbride, there was an actual castle down called the Glen with the river. There was a massive castle. They've still got some of the ruins.
I know it. Like I remember it being for sale about 30 years ago.
Was it the whole castle back then, or was it just the grounds, Scottie?
I think it was actually the castle. There wasn't much in the grounds. People were playing football in front of it. The castle was for sale. And there's also another castle at Stewartfield at the loch there. And that little castle was restored by a gentleman that had a big shop in Glasgow.
It's lovely when you go by there. I just really wish they kept that castle, because some of the pictures, it just looked absolutely fun. And for East Kilbride as well, that's a bit of history. That's just
Calder Glen, yeah. Well, I can remember the castle. I don't know what happened, but it was going quite cheap at the time. And I think because of the public park. And I'll tell you where else there's a castle. If you go into Johnston, there's a little housing estate, and in the middle of the housing estate is this huge ancient castle.
Wow. Right,
right sitting outside everybody's door.
You've got that in Pollock as well, near Silverburn. It's Crookston Castle.
Crookston Castle. Another one, Bothwell Castle, a huge old ruin out at the Hamilton there. You know?
What the dogs are.
Do you know, I've just had a guy, Kareem, you'll love this. Let's see if I can get this guy. I need to read all this stuff out because it's brilliant. But there's a guy here has said, what have we got here? Scottie, most people couldn't give a monkey's about the royal family. Nowhere near 50% these days, as you pointed out. What I'm telling them, everybody needs to give a monkey's about the royal family if they're interested in independence. If they're not, they can forget it, because a whiff of republicanism and independence is toast.
I said to my friend last night regarding that, Scottie, I said if there was ever a vote, the royal family would have nothing to worry about, because it would be 70, 80%. I said a lot of the public do care about the royal family, are interested in the royal family, and do take pride in the royal family.
Yes.
So I'm not worried about it at all.
No, absolutely. Kareem, a privilege talking to you, and Dinky-Doo.
Dinky-Doo. Speak to you tomorrow, Scottie.
Speak to you tomorrow. Night. God bless you. Fantastic stuff. There we are. That's our Kareem. Now, let's have some of your comments here. TikTokers. Johnston Castle. Castle Simple. Yes, indeed, Stevie. Ladies are so precious, like a diamond. There we are. Below the earth. Equal rights. Big Scottie McClue, the legend. Follow us, guys, on TikTok if you're just coming on. Fantastic. Interesting stuff, lads. You support independence. Stevie, I do economically. I'm not a political person, as you know. Who are you for the internet? Lots of lag. So there we are. Yeah, the internet's slow tonight. Scottie, did you hack Facebook? Hi, bestie, I've missed you. Lots of beautiful presents from you lovely TikTokers. Now, let's get some of your comments here. Who sank the Bismarck? Do you know that the announcement of the sinking of the Bismarck went out from Greenock, from Bagatelle House? Right, let's get back to the telephones. Everybody's going bananas here. You're live on Scottie's phone in. Who's that? Hello?
Hello there, this is Derek calling.
Derek, how are you, La?
Very well. I just wanted to say to you, you know you're looking for £7.50.
£7.50, Derek.
Yes, you're looking for £7.50.
Yes.
Yeah? Yep, so that you could buy a computer.
Yes.
Yeah, well, I looked you up on Google today.
Yes. And it says I'm worth $1 million.
It says you're worth $1 million.
Yeah, you can forget all that. You can forget all that, La.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, no, I lost my life savings in a business deal with a very, 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 very bad man.
Uh-huh.
So you could forget all that, but that would be nice. It's a nice thought.
Well, it's a nice thought, $1 million, isn't it?
Yeah, good for you.
Yeah, I wish I had $1 million.
I wish I had $1 million.
Aye. Right. Anyway, did you get any feedback from? Because I'm watching you on YouTube tonight.
Right.
Because of everything that's gone down.
Everything's gone down, Derek La. Yes.
Aye. And I phoned up last week, and I just wondered. You, first and foremost, I got a complaint to make.
Good.
Because you said you were coming back on Saturday night, and you never.
I couldn't. Do you know I couldn't get the phones fixed till 1:13 in the morning. They went live again. So I do apologise. I hope that's dealt with your complaint. Complaint noted.
And the other thing is that did you get any feedback from the statue of Margaret Thatcher?
Yes, stacks and stacks of it. We had a guy called Matey Boy that says he'd like a statue of Margaret Thatcher. She was the greatest woman ever.
Absolutely.
Everybody else went bananas and said it would get damaged.
Aye. And you know that guy, Karim?
Yes.
He's not boring. He's great.
He's fantastic. He's a great caller, Derek. And so are you, La.
Yeah, that other guy there you have on, David, he's boring.
Oh, I'll have to cut you off. We like David. Hello from Estonia. Thatcher, comment, Scottie. Good show, jolly good show, says Dats on here. Absolutely loving it. Thank you, guys. Myth, the Royals are toast, but Nicola will not make them an issue till after the next referendum. No, Steve, the next referendum, you're getting it totally wrong. They are an issue now. Yeah, and remember, that's got to be sorted before the referendum, or the referendum's toast. Right, off to the telephones. Who have we got here? You're live on Scottie's phone in. Who's that? Hello, you're live on Scottie's phone in?
Hi, Scottie, I'm getting the second call in now, please.
Ah, yes, lovely to have you with us.
What was that previous call we on about David being boring?
Yeah, David's not boring.
No, Scottie, if he's not got anything better to say about anybody else,
don't say it at all.
Don't say it, exactly.
If you haven't got anything nice to say, don't say it at all. There's a lovely caller. Wait till you hear this one, Glenn. Yes, yeah. DJ Hayes, I'm American. I can't understand anything.
Beautiful.
Hello from Saltcoats and hello from Greenock, says Paul. So, hey, they're all coming on here, Glenn.
Scottie, there's a lot of jealousy, I think, from new callers.
Very, very jealous. Yeah. Very jealous. And I noticed they were having a conversation amongst themselves the other night.
They've got the chance to come on and put the bit out there.
They've got the chat. Anybody can phone up.
Exactly. I think they're intimidated all the time.
There's a guy, there's April, says an opinion's not worth anything unless you can say it to their face.
Precisely.
So there we are. Amazing.
There's too much, I think there's too many opinionated people that actually go and say something then. If you say something and they say something, they want to just shoot your opinion down kind of thing, don't they? You know, before they actually
This is their problem. They're not able to. You see, what you need to do, if you're going to discuss something, you need to A, have the knowledge and understanding, and B, you need to have a long fuse.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean?
Sometimes, you know, like a difference of opinion, though, can cause a bit of animosity, can't it, at times?
Well, it can cause animosity, but also it's very interesting because we accept all opinions here, and if they're a load of nonsense, I will tell them.
People have no need to put the freckles up, have they, when they think somebody else is wrong and they're right.
That's it. They don't have to do that. There's somebody asking for the phone number.
Scottie, please.
They're asking for the phone number.
Scottie, where are these people coming from?
They're on TikTok. They're wanting the phone number. Get onto YouTube. Hang on a second, Glenn. TikTokers, if you look right in front of you at my TikTok bio, just below that, you will see the YouTube link. Go and subscribe, tap the bell, get your notifications, and join in the phone in.
100% style.
They need to get this YouTube channel going. That YouTube channel's been sitting there.
The YouTube channel is the key, isn't it?
It's the big one. It's the pivotal to the whole lot. And that should be up in the hundreds of thousands now.
Definitely, I think...
you know, it's sitting at, I think when I looked today, it's sitting at 2,850.
Yeah.
2,850. Now, when I send out a tweet, it sometimes goes to about 4,000 people right away.
And you put your football thing out, even though you're not a big fan, you still put that out there. It's at football clubs.
Hey, I love this. Weech, internet being down is bringing out the zombies.
Scottie, I was just thinking before I phoned you back a second time. Will you ever do a duo call with somebody else on YouTube then?
Yes. Yeah, we'll do that. And, well, I'm doing a call with you now. Scottie, the aliens are landing as we speak, says Danny.
Scottie, I mean like camera to camera kind of thing.
Oh, yes, we could do that if somebody's up for it. And what we might do is I'll look at my contacts book and maybe get some famous people on for a chat.
Sounds good.
And say, right, we're having so-and-so on tonight,
We're all famous in his own ways, aren't we?
Well, we are now, I'll tell you. I mean, everyday phone's here. I mean, you put yourself onto YouTube, you'll hear Glenn, you'll hear Kareem. Yeah. We're all on there.
Sometimes after we've gone off and when your stream's ended, I play it back, on YouTube.
And is it fun?
It's brilliant.
See, there you go. So that's you're a famous man. So somebody will be talking to you in the pub in the Midlands, and they'll go, are you that Glenn that phoned Scottie McClue?
Brilliant guy, innit?
You say, I am. Wow. Hey, I love your calls, mate.
Get them calling, innit?
Yeah.
Tell 10 to Scottie.
Yeah. There's a lovely man. Geomac says, I saw you in the Forge Market. I opened the Forge Market about 22 years ago. And I went back and did their advert for television about, I don't know how long ago it'll be now. It was outstanding.
Did you ever go to the big shopping centre, Meadowhall?
Yeah, Meadowhall, absolutely. Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
Fantastic. I remember it being opened.
And then they knocked the Tinsley Viaducts down, didn't they?
I remember it being opened. And I remember the big cooling towers coming down, all that.
Yeah, they knocked them down, didn't they?
All that stuff. Amazing. Fantastic.
You've got the flats, you've got Parkhill flats, haven't you? They got knocked down.
Oh, have they knocked down the big old flats?
The flats got knocked down, yeah.
Beside the motorway?
Yeah, over the way from the train station.
Hey, interesting. I must come back and see Sheffield.
Definitely, Scottie.
I love it so much. Glenn, I'm going to leave you with a little story. One Christmas, somebody had offered me a big job in London, right? And I said, I don't think it's me, really, to be honest with you. I said, well, we'd love to have you. And the money's there, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, I'm walking my Labrador on a Sheffield moor at Christmas. Beautiful, crisp evening. Stars, moon, sheep, right? And dog and I walking along. And I thought, do you know, I could be sitting in a boardroom in London now, dreaming of doing what I'm actually doing right now, because that's what these others will be doing.
That's the better thing, and a lot better.
Can you see me thinking?
I can, yeah.
I thought, why would I want to be sitting in a London boardroom right now?
When you've got all the.
I'm looking up and I can, you know, I can virtually see the Christmas story rolling in front of me, the shepherds and the sheep.
That's the better thing about it, Scottie. You've stayed true to yourself, ain't you?
Hey, look at this, Glenn. I bought my first DAB radio to listen to you, Scottie.
I bet it brings tears to your eyes sometimes, Scottie, doesn't it?
You know, and I'll tell you what else you get about a lot of these people that take these big jobs. Feskermath, Scottie, says Motorbike Stock in Gaelic. When a lot of these poor souls, you say, oh, how's so-and-so keeping? They say, oh, he died.
Yeah.
You know, and the stuff and all the rest of it, you know?
They're not staying true to themselves, are they?
Not really.
They're just wanting to be a bit snobbery, really.
And you know what Yorkshire's like. You take the dog back, you know, and you think, you know, your mate knocks the door and says, do you fancy a couple of pints?
You're never gonna lose the Yorkshireman out of the.
No.
No, definitely not.
And as I say, I'm the only man in the world who's an honorary Yorkshireman, and that's the greatest honour you could ever bestow.
As soon as, like I said, first time I heard you, brilliant.
Love it. Love you, Glenn, mate. You take care.
Nice one, Scottie. Love you, Scottie.
Dinky-Doo la.
Dinky-Doo, Scottie.
Top man. There we are. That's our Glenn. Excellent stuff. To the telephones, folks. Lots and lots to get through tonight. My goodness me. Scottie, me too, dear. I'm a mix of Irish and English, but I swear to the Irish. Claire, yes, we're all Irish. Lee from Barnsley here. All right, Scottie. Lee, Dinky-Doo la. I love Dumbarton. My son lives there. D, I haven't thanked you for your kindness today. Thank you for your wonderful donation for the equipment. Finally, I was able to catch your stream. It's lovely to see you on Twitch. I love UTV. Dinky-Doo, thank you on Twitch. Can everybody watch me on Twitch? Haha, Merry Christmas, Dinky-Doo. That's why I love the show. There we are. Scottie, I'll remember you. Be yourself, all yourself. Honest opinions, absolutely clear. That's what it's all about. Nothing cool like castles. There we are. Who have we got here? Right. Off to the telephones. You're live on Scottie's phone in. Who's that?
Oh, I'm boring.
You're boring. I know. I cut him off for that.
Oh, that's scandalous.
Oh, don't you take that to heart. You haven't got a boring bone in your body.
He's a good spike. Oh, he does a good
I'll
spike.
tell you. Now, listen, what I was going to say to you is thank you so much for all your generosity.
No problem, mate.
And I'm sorry about last thing on Saturday night. There was just nothing I could do about that.
Oh, that I don't think. I text you back. I don't know if you got it. I thought maybe you get hacked or something.
No, not hacked. 1:13 in the morning, I got the phones working. Right. And I thought they'll all be in their bed. There's no point in popping up. And I was shattered. I was shattered by then because it's all this put in your password and do this and do that and do that. I thought, oh, for goodness sake. You know, on the internet, when you get into one of these sessions, you know, it used to be you'll have to reload Windows and all that stuff. This will mean you've lost all your information and stop.
You know what I mean? It's just as bad as that Virgin, you know, when my Virgin went down.
Oh well, we're not going to that. We'll not slag off any of the big companies because they've got their things. But no, I mean tonight we've lost a few platforms. You know, there's something strange going on. Something very strange going on there, Davey. I'll tell you.
Yeah, indeed, son. You know, and I love wee Glenn, so I do. Wee Glenn, he's a lovely person. That's all I can say. You know, and Kareem's a lovely guy.
Kareem's fantastic. I mean, he was just amazing tonight. You know.
You know, and these people are saying, you know, they like this, they don't like that, and whatever. They just have a good spank, Scottie, that's all.
A good spanking. But you see, I mean, it's very interesting because I love the difference of opinion. And I've uploaded, I've explained myself tonight in a YouTube video and a TikTok video about the Queen. Do you know what I mean?
That's right.
You see, the thing about McClue, I can back it up, and people don't like that.
Well, these people just get a problem in their wee brain cells.
Well, I told a boy the truth tonight, and he comes back and goes, "Poppycock, poppycock." Right, and I says, "I see you're not a man for the truth."
That's right. They don't like the truth, Scottie, you know, so that's their big problem.
And they think because you've told them the truth about the Queen, they then start going, get off your knees and all that stuff. I say, I'm not on my knees. I'm just telling you the truth.
Oh, I know, you know, and we're going to speak about marriage tonight, but listen, people don't get married. I mean,
no, I think they're worried about the whole thing. I think this whole thing of commitment has turned into control. So the government can then say, who's your missus and who's your man and all that, you know.
I mean, look at me. I was really married back in the early...
Oh, they'd be snapping you up. You'll have to watch, you know.
I mean, look at me, right?
I used to remember when I took a refreshment, I would say, oh my God, what a night last night. I think I asked so-and-so to marry me. And this guy says, I better say sorry about that. I went, away you go. Listen, the only thing you've got to watch is one night one of them will say yes. I love that. It's all good Scottish banter. Do you know what I mean?
I mean, there's a lot of people who really want to marry me, I know, because I would get a good spank, but anyway.
You and your spank. What are you like?
I know, son, I know.
Here's a lovely one. Here's a guy. Wait till you hear this one, Davey. Scottie, do you remember one night on Scott FM you kept the show going past the usual finish time? We did, Gio. But another time on another radio station, I locked myself in. They says, that's right, I just locked us in. I says, we'll just stay on till 2 o'clock. I said, nobody wanted the phone in to finish.
See, that's great. We can do it on this as well, eh?
And I played all the music I liked. They were going daft. I say now our next piece of music is Jimmy Shand. Jimmy Shand. I'll tell you the greatest ambassadors for Scotland in the 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s and 90s. Jimmy Shand and Kenneth McKellar.
Well, that's funny. I was watching him on YouTube.
Wonderful.
I love it. Me and Martin and John, seriously, I love it. I was up dancing because that was my time with my mum and dad when they were, well, my mum's dead now, my dad's still here. I used to watch it, I used to go to that Thursday, Friday, whatever, you know.
Jimmy Shand and Kenneth McKellar's singing is just second to none.
Amazing, you know, all those people, the Johnny Beatties, you name it.
Johnny Beattie, yes, and our dear friends Ricky Fulton, Jack Mulroy.
Jack Mulroy, oh, definitely.
Lex McLean, Lex.
God.
Walter Carr, remember Walter Carr, the comedian? He was the mate in Parahandy.
Oh, Parahandy, I heard of that,
yes. Yes, Roddy McMillan, Johnny Grieve, Alex McAvoy, fantastic.
Oh, wow, amazing stuff. Do you know what I mean, son, you know?
Great stuff. It's just, you know, we need to get back to that. They need to stop the nonsense. Nobody wants to just sit up all night listening to loud music. Have you noticed that everything on the telly, you can't hear the boy speak for loud music?
That's correct. This is why we like YouTube. YouTube's bringing the real stuff in.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes, and you can get everything on YouTube. It's outstanding.
Oh, it's amazing, son. Do you know what I mean?
But I'll tell you, Davey, I need to get this YouTube channel moving now. It's sitting there at 2,800. We need to get that built right up. That should be about 500,000 people watching.
Well, that's good. And week I'll be putting some money into your wee.
Yes, but please never, ever, ever feel obliged. Only if it suits.
I know, but I will be doing that.
And I'm so grateful because I love it. See, did you hear that boy on that he'd Googled us and I was worth $1 million?
That's right, yes. And then you said you get a businessman and he took all your money. That's a shame.
Took all my money away and that stuff, and we had to rebuild our life.
That's terrible. This man took all your money, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely. And that was that. So there we go. And mind you, I think he'd got some problems, you know.
Did you get the police in? No.
Well, you see, the problem is you don't want a person like that to be a part of your life.
No, of course you
Do you see? I mean, you just want to get everything sorted and move on. When you get scammed like that, you know.
It's terrible. It's awful. Yeah, I mean that could have really done you in.
Oh yes, yes. So you have to crawl back, you know. And the rest of it. But here we are, and we're doing what we do best.
That's right, son. Well done.
We're talking to the nation.
Yeah, right, son.
You take great care, Davy, and love to you and John, and we'll catch up soon. Dinky-Doo. Dinky-Doo, Lala. To the telephones as quickly as possible. We are exceptionally busy tonight. Whoa! There we are. Merry Christmas. Stop. I'm yet to start my Christmas shopping. Don't worry about that. Scottie, I've missed you loads, mate. I now live in Spain, fella. Hope you're well. Stevie, thanks. Nonsense. So there we are. What are we talking about here? Fantastic. You're watching Scottie McClue, and we are live on the big one. Off to the telephones. You're live on Scottie's phone in. Who's that?
Oh, has he finished?
Has who finished?
Oh, that boring Davy.
Well, hey, listen, he must be finished if boring you is on. There we go, fantastic. You're live on Scotty's phone in. Who's that?
All right, Scottie, it's Lee from Barnsley.
Lee from Barnsley. How lovely to have you with us. Dinky-Doo, Lee.
How are you?
Hey, well, better for hearing you. This is lovely.
You know what? I've missed you. I mean, I don't really comment much, so you don't see me, but I watch every one of your videos, live videos, and it just plugs me up, Scottie, because I love you.
Well, that's so kind of you. That is so very, very kind of you, because I love being on with you guys because you're lovely people.
Well, where do we start this week, though? There's so much news. Where start, Scottie?
What do we do about that?
Well, I'm thinking about. What do you think about these petrol prices, petrol shortages, Scottie?
Well, I think the whole shortage thing, I think there's not actually a shortage. What they're having to do is just get it sorted, get the deliveries sorted out. And in Scotland, it's absolutely gone.
Well, yeah, but I mean, I think the worst place in Great Britain is London.
Yeah.
Well, you know, we should have remembered that, shouldn't we?
We should have.
It's obvious, but you know, where I live in Barnsley, South Yorkshire, there's no queues. People are just going about the business.
Well, you see, the thing about Yorkshire people, they're well organised. It doesn't matter what your background is in Yorkshire, they won't put up with nonsense.
That's true, but I wouldn't say well organised, Scottie. Sometimes we can be like debatable. You know, we can act in a way that is kind of silly in so many respects, just like any other part of the country. But I'd just like to say, Scottie, that, you know, Brexit, I hate to bring it up.
No, go on, you're fine, we don't mind.
I'm so sorry, because I know, you know, you've got some really bad, but part of this fuel shortage, as you know, as much as it's happening on continent, you know, there's fuel shortages not only here, but Poland, Germany, France, Spain. It's not only us that's going through this shortage.
No.
At the same time, I can't help but think that, you know, we've got a shortage of drivers in this country for a reason. 50,000, which is way more than on continent. And I can't help but think that it could possibly be because of
Brexit?
Of course, it's because of Brexit is the biggest act of self-harm, and they're at their conference right now, and they're going on about the cost of the pandemic. Now, everything they say, put in the cost of Brexit. They're saying they're going to have to save money. They're going to have to get money back. Brexit's cost us around £250 billion with nothing to show for it.
I agree with that. It has so far, and
and it'll keep costing us. And they're saying, "Oh, it's been great, it's been great." This country, when the Tories took power, when they went for their austerity, there was about £435 billion sloshing about free for spending. Now we're £350 billion down the Swanee. £250 billion of that is Brexit. So that means there's about £700 billion been squandered in the last 12 years.
I totally agree with you, Scotty, on that respect. Can I just say, what do you think about the £20? I know it were only a temporary measure, and it weren't only for England, it was for Scotland, Wales and Northern Ireland. What do you think about the government giving away this extra £20 a week to the less fortunate?
I don't mind the less fortunate getting anything that helps, because I know what it's like out there. I know how tough it can be. I know what a difference just a 10 or 15 quid can make. But your problem is, we need to sort a lot of things out. We need to get people off the drugs. We need to get people off the alcohol. We need to get people away from the fags and from things that harm them. We need to get people's behavior sorted out. We need to get respect back.
Yeah, and that's why you've got a lot of fans all over the UK, well, Great Britain and the UK, including Northern Ireland, because you say it how it is, and you're not scared.
No, well, I'm not a political person. I've got no axe to grind. I've got no chips on my shoulder. I'm not angry. I'm not, my judgment's not clouded. I'm having a look at what's going on. And very often I'm thinking, tot, tot, tottity, tot, 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 tot.
Yeah, exactly. And what do you think about, do you want Scotland to leave the UK? Are you for
Well, I think the way Scotland's been treated in recent times, you see, the Union was built on sand, and it was Queen Anne, who was a Stuart queen, a descendant of Charles Edward Stuart and James II and all that. And Queen Anne, she died childless, but they really robbed Scotland blind. They bought it for about 1,500 quid by bribing the aristocracy. And so they bought it for that. And here's a lovely guy here, Lee. Oscar says, "Who are you?" So I'll have to tell Oscar, I am Scottie McClue, the first lord of the internet. But
it's amazing. It's amazing, Scott. It's amazing.
It's strange stuff, isn't it? So there we go. But no, what I'm thinking there, so it was Queen Anne that did this union, so it was built on sand. And Scotland had to seriously devalue the pound Scots to facilitate economic union. So Scotland's it's just there as a cash cow at the moment.
Can I just say, Scotty, that I'm not against Scotland getting their independence from the UK. I just think that we can do more and achieve more together. What do you think? Well,
no, we can't until they stop robbing Scotland. You see, it's supposed to be 50-50. Now, here's what, in an ideal world, Lee, and I'll run this past you, and you can have a bit of think about this. What I would like to see is Scotland extend its sin, right? The Treaty of York from something like 1237. Last week was the anniversary, and I think we could do with Yorkshire and Northumberland and Cumberland and Lancashire and Yorkshire, all part of Scotland.
Yeah, well,
and I think the Barnsley people would be up for that.
Well, Scotty, you never know in the future, because going down the centuries, going back into 14th, 15th century, borders have always changed in this country, and you you never know exactly what's going to
Well,
happen.
look up the Treaty of York.
Scotty.
Now you see that would change your view altogether, because instead of saying we're better together, we'd be together anyway.
Yeah, and of course we'd work together.
Oh yeah.
About that, but I'm just saying, under the Henry VIII and his, when he were reigned in 1566, was it 1546? I can't remember.
Yeah, Henry VIII, 1500s.
He created the United Kingdom. He created Scotland and England come together as a partnership and as a union. So, I mean, this union...
Well, your big one was 1603, the Union of the Crowns, when James VI of Scotland became James I of England.
Oh, I'm sorry, I stand corrected.
That was your big one, when Scotland actually took over the British Crown.
Yeah.
You know?
So what do you think? Do you think Wales, England, Scotland and Northern Ireland should all go independent, or do you think we should stay together as the UK?
I think Brexit has done two things. Brexit will cause economic annihilation in this country. It already has started, and also it will cause the fragmentation of the United Kingdom.
I agree. I totally
agree. We built Europe up. It's our EU. We built it up over 50 years of peace and prosperity.
So why aren't we still in the EU?
We should have been. I mean, it's madness. We're sitting at the big table along with our dear friends and allies, Germany. Very well organized country, Germany, nowadays. And we were controlling 30% of the world's top trading bloc. Gave it up for nothing, so a few billionaires didn't have to pay their tax.
Scotty, you know where I live in, Barnsley?
Yeah, love it.
We've just gone through, the whole town centre's been modernised. It's going to be open in 2022.
I love it.
It's been going on since 2015.
Yeah.
It's nearly finished, so it looks amazing. But you know where we got?
I think there was nothing wrong with it before, you know.
Well, you know where we got most of that money from to do these changes?
From Europe.
From the European Social Fund. Exactly.
Yep. Hey, Lee, they're all shouting and bawling on here. Henry, get with the times, mate. Embarrassing, says this cracking guy. Daft as a brush. Here he goes. Clearly a valid reason you're no longer broadcasting. I'm broadcasting right now, you half-wit.
I'd like him to live in a small town like Barnsley.
Yeah.
That relied on funds from the European Social Fund.
That's it.
You go in town in Barnsley, there's a big black placard. There's a big blue placard with European social stars.
Yeah.
With EU stars on saying, we got these funds from there. And yet Barnsley voted to leave. I don't get it.
Here's a guy from Wales says, independence of Scotland and Wales is now inevitable, as is Irish unification eventually. What about that?
Well, it could be in future, Scotty. We don't know, do we? It could be.
Very interesting. Now, I'm going to have to go, Lee, because they're all going daft here. And it's been a joy speaking to you. Don't make this your last call, by the way.
I won't. It's been lovely to speak to you, Scotty.
Love it.
Take care.
Love Barnsley. Love to you and love to Barnsley.
Love to Scotland, mate.
Hey, dinky-doo, la-la. There we are. That's our Lee. Fantastic. Now, we're going to have to say goodnight to our beautiful TikTokers because we're out of time. Love you lots, beautiful TikTokers. Thank you for watching. And Dinky-Doo. Lahoom says, Scotty's a wonderful man. Dinky-Doo. Dinky-Doo, everybody. Good night. God bless. Ta-ra. And see you, la-las. Right, that's our lovely TikTokers have had to dash off. Nevertheless, an absolute joy to be with you all. Now then, we're still live for another minute on here. Let's just see what you lot are saying to it. Nonsense. Yeah, you don't, David Scott, we don't know anything about that, and we can't discuss it at the moment. Hi, Scott, he'll ring soon. That was Lee. Fantastic. Can you say hi to Kirsty and VJ? Yes, I can, Kirsty. David's a good guy, says VJ. Talking about marriage, Scotty, my wife says I spend more time watching this than spending time with her. Well, this is a good way to spend time. The two of you should watch it together. There we are. Now, who we got here? They're training. All right. What a lot of nonsense. He's gone. Eb, we haven't gone. There we go. Fantastic. I hate politics, never hate anything, Claire, but I'm afraid we have to live by the rules. In it, says DD. There we are. You're treading on tartly. God bless for your opinion. Hello, Scottie. Greetings from Lytham St. Anne's. Paul, I hope you are well in Lytham St. Anne's. Gonna have to go, guys. Been an absolute blast. Good night. God bless. Dinky-Doo.